The cars are staged back in the pit area. They'll come out, they'll park along pit road, and then we'll have the opportunity to see qualifying for today's event. And the winner of that will earn the Mayhew Tools Dominator Pole Award. It'll be a 2-lap qualifying effort. We talked a little bit about practice and this new pit road. Practice was a little bit more important today because there are 4 pit stalls that everybody wanted. They were the ones on the end of each pit road on the front and the back straightaway. Easy in, nobody blocking you, or easy out. If you're on the exit of pit road, nobody blocking you on exit. The top 4 teams and drivers, that was Justin Bonsignore, Doug Coby, Patrick Emerling, and the winner the last time we were here, Kyle Soper. They each got to select the preferred pit stalls based on practice speed. That's a little different than the normal NASCAR procedure, but they changed that procedure for this race because of the pit road that's been set up. And it seems as though that could play out to be a pretty significant advantage as they go throughout the race, but only time will tell.
Right, getting in and out of this pit road is going to be new for everybody. They've yet to do it. The only thing I see at the end here, you see the block at the end for the end pit stalls. Those guys who get those stalls might be tough to swing in, but getting out will be a lot easier. In case they get blocked, they have room to back up, and they can pull out and get out.
Yeah, it'll be tricky as they work around that. Something new for everybody as they try to figure out what the strategy will be. You alluded to that a little bit. 200 laps, the typical distance that we see for these race cars here at this racetrack. So some may say, do you stay out 56 laps? Can you just stay out and run this race without coming to pit road? Do you come down pit road a couple of times and maybe take one tire on one stop, one tire another as a 2-tire change maximum throughout the race? These are all questions that the teams themselves are grappling with, and nobody quite has the answer of how it's going to play out.
And the fall off from the tire is about a half a second to a full second from new tires to old tires. Now, that's 4 tires. I don't know what the difference will be with 2 tires. So, again, these teams have to figure out what's the best strategy to get us to the end. Some of them may run the whole distance. And if we get a late caution at 200, they may all come in and pit for 50 laps and put on tires. But I have no idea what they're going to do.
Tonight, most likely, you will see a variety of strategies that'll take place. Some teams will come in early, some teams will come in late. And I think there may be at least one, who tries to go the whole way. And that's going to make it interesting. Everybody on different speed, different strategies. You're going to need your notepad to be able to keep track of all of it and maintain who's doing what, when they're doing it, and how it plays out. But one thing we know as we start to align the cars on pit road to get ready for their qualifying effort is that starting inside the top 10 here makes a big difference.
It's huge because the work you have to do to get from the back to the front, you basically wear this car out. We've seen plenty of drivers do it. A lot of the local drivers will do it. A driver like Tom Rogers Jr., one time we were here last year, started 20th. Lap 70, he's leading the race. Lap 93, 94, he's a lap down. So you use up so much of your car to get through the field here that you have to, it's tough to be patient because it's such a small track that you can go down a lap in a hurry.
I asked Kyle Soper earlier today, I said, how different is it running your weekly modified versus running the tour type modified here for the Whelen Modified Tour? And he said, the rubber, that Hoosier tire combination is a lot closer than it used to be. And I think that gives us, the Riverhead locals, a little bit more of an edge when we come into the 256th lap here tonight. First car is on track to qualify. This is a Pine Knoll Auto Sales machine for Melissa Fightfield out of Wakefield, New Hampshire. As she comes across the line, it'll be 2 green flag laps for qualifying action. And we'll see how they will line up for tonight's event. Again, the top 10 is a preferred spot, at least if you look over the past handful of years here at this racetrack. The winners generally start inside the top 10, although there have been a few who have made it interesting and started deeper than that and found their way to victory lane. Lap number 1 for Melissa Fightfield, a 13:046. She comes across the line and she completes her second lap. It'll be a 12.792 for Melissa Fightfield.
Next car to hit the raceway, the Lakeland Landscaping Supply, number 27. And of course is Gary McDonald. McDonald has Ed Brunhunzel III in his primary car here tonight as he'll come to the green flag. Gary McDonald he's been racing for years. He raced at Islip in car number 26. Lap number 1, 12.922. 12.922. Lap number 1 for Gary McDonald. Lap number 2, he picks it up to a 12.542. 12.542 is the time of record for Gary McDonald.
And he just about missed the entrance of pit road over there in turn number 2, and he'll have to guide that car down the back straightaway and make another loop around. Next car on track is going to be the 78 out of East Haven, Connecticut, the last minute racing modified for Walt Sutcliffe Jr., who's finished a career race best or a track best of 12th a couple of times here at the Riverhead Raceway. And he's been a full-time contender on the tour this season. Gets a little bit wide through turn 4 as he comes to complete his opening lap at a 13.074, and then eases it around here after he was given the white flag.
Yeah, he got a little tight going into turn 3 and just decided that he was going to call it quits on that lap. Next car to hit the raceway in the Gary McDonald owned Lakeland Landscape TRC Electric number 26. It's Ed Brunhunsel III. Brunhunsel normally runs the familiar family-owned 8X here at Riverhead Raceway. Working with Gary McDonald here for this tour event. Lap number 1 for EB3, 12.129. Fast time thus far, 12.129 for Ed Brunhunsel III. Lap number 2, 12.021. 12.021 for Ed Brunhunsel III.
And a great story of how he had the opportunity to drive Gary McDonald's number 26. Came in May to give him a hand working on this race car, and then had the opportunity to race it here in the midsummer race, and now again here in the month of September. Another Long Island driver from Calverton, Ken Hagee. Car number 18, the Bowie 1 Seafood and Restaurant Machine, has made 26 starts at this racetrack, highest of 6th. He comes off turn number 4 to the white flag. With 1 lap to go in his qualifying effort, moves it up to 2nd, right behind Ed Brunhunsel. 12.201 for Ken Hagee. Was planning to run the full season. Had to miss a couple of races because of some business obligations midway, but he's ready to go for the rest of the 2022 campaign, and he becomes the first driver to go sub 12 seconds. He goes in 11.910 for Ken Hagee.
Next car under the clock in the Dave Sapienza Enterprises number 36. He's out of Riverhead. That's Sap, Dave Sapienza. Sap was here with us last Saturday night for the Cecil Palm Tree 160. Had a good run going, had an incident. He was running top 10 all night. Lap number 1 for Dave Sapienza. 12.280. 12.280. Lap number 1 for Sap. Lap number 2, 12.111. 12.111, good enough for 3rd fastest thus far here today for Dave Sapienza.
That'll bring out driver of car number 22 out of Bayshore, New York. This is Kyle Bonsignore, Chalou Performance, MTT Munns Auto Modified. 1 career Whelen Modified Tour victory, nearly cashed it in that time, coming to the green flag up off turn number 4. Well out of shape as he came back onto the main straightaway. That victory came back in 2018 in the fall final at Stafford Speedway. White flag is out. Bonsignore goes 11.866. This team was not happy with their car after practice today. Thought that they left quite a bit on the table. He was 19th quick in practice, and now he's 11.739 and to the top of the board here early in qualifying, faster on his 2nd lap.
Next car to hit the raceway has 1 feature event win to his credit here at Riverhead Raceway in the weekly racing series. Brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. In the Cromer's Market, number 81, that is Chris Turbish out of Wading River. Turbish in the Chris Moore Landscaping number 81, lap number 1, 12.104. 12.104, lap number 1 for Chris Turbish. Lap number 2, second quick, 12.877. 12.877, lap number 2 for Chris Turbish.
That'll bring up another regular, John Beatty Jr. out of Merrick, the Elite Sound Studios. Number 5, beautifully prepared race car. Ran both races already this season, one top 10 finish. Came in the May event as he goes under the green flag, trying to see if he can find a lap time better than Kyle Bonsignore with an 11.739. Beatty across the line, white flag is out, 1 to go for him, 5th after lap 1. A 12.025. The checkered flag waves by Bob Slade atop the flag stand. He will go to number 2, 11.824, about a 1/10 of a second behind current pole sitter Kyle Bonsignore.
Next car to hit the raceway is the Rheem Air Conditioning, number 88. This race last year, but it wasn't this distance, but last year he finished 3rd. Car number 88 out of Riverhead, it's Roger Turbish. Turbish not running full-time this year here at Riverhead Raceway, doing select shows. Lap number 1 for Roger Turbish, 5th quick, 11.961. 11.961, lap number 1 for Roger Turbish in the Rheem Air Conditioning number 88, lap number 2. He'll go to 3rd, 11.851. 11.851 for Roger Turbish.
Next car on track is a 2-time Whelen Modified Tour champion and a 4-time Riverhead Raceway Whelen Modified Tour winner. That is Donnie Leah driving Old Blue, the Propane Plus Huntington Honda Modified from Jericho, New York. Green flag is out, and Donnie Leah under the clock. Part-time schedule here this year, but certainly whets the appetite to get back behind the wheel of a modified after taking several years away from modified racing full-time. Would love to have the opportunity to come back and do this again in 23 with the right opportunity and race on the full-time schedule. 12.040 for Donnie Leah on lap 1. Lap number 2 will move him up to 3rd with an 11.848. So Leah with Old Blue 3rd on the scoring pylon.
Next car to hit the raceway, this team is starting to click. Everything going well for them in the Danny Cesspool service. Fortin Avenue Equipment, number 82. Out of Miller Place, it's Craig Lutz. We've strung some good races together here in car number 82. Climbed back into the top 10 in points. Lap number 1, 11.980. 11.980, good enough for 7th. Quick on lap number 1 for Craig Lutz. Lap number 2, he goes to the outside of the front row with an 11.823. 11.823 for Craig Lutz.
There's a 58, the GAF Roofing Riverhead Building Supply machine for Eric Goodale. He's been a factor all season long in the Whelen Modified Tour. But today he was so-so on what he thought his race car was. Thought he can get a little bit more speed out of it, but it seems like just about everywhere we go, that's the case for Eric Goodale. But by the time they get ready to go racing, Jason Shepard, the crew chief of this car, finds that little extra speed and finds the magic to have this car inside the top 10 and top 5 in the mix as the race goes on. 7th after lap number 1. Can he get quicker? Yep, goes to the top. Eric Goodale, 11.702. Right now on the pole position, still quite a ways to go through qualifying, and one of the heavy hitters rolling up onto the racetrack now.
This driver has had some excellent runs in car number 79, and he had some excellent runs here at Riverhead Raceway throughout the years. In the Middlesex Interiors, number 79, it's John McKenzie. He's out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Lap number 1 for McKenzie, 7th quick, 11.858. 11.858, lap number 1 for John McKenzie. Lap number 2 goes to the outside of row number 1 with an 11.727. 11.727, lap number 2 for John McKenzie.
McKenzie 12th in practice today, currently second. That's going to be a big factor as your championship point leader. Just completes his qualifying run and puts that mark up for everybody to go chasing. Green flag is out for the number 96 of Matt Brody from East Islip in the Peter Clark Motorsports entry. Matt contested here in the Midsummer Race, was 13th that day in the Whelen Modified Tour. He's 10th right now with an 11.984, and that's put everybody inside the top 10, sub 11 seconds. As to be expected here as we roll through this qualifying run. Picks up quite a bit on lap number 2, moves into 6th, an 11.842.
Next car to hit the raceway in the FX Capara, number 54, it's Tommy Catalano. Catalano with some great runs here in 2022. We'll try to put one together here tonight in car number 54, lap number 1, 11th quick, 11.989, 11.989. Lap number 1 for Tommy Catalano. Lap number 2, 6th quick, an 11.825. Good run for Catalano at 11.825.
The 17th car to come out and take time of the 25 with us here tonight. From Dix Hills, Dylan Slepian at Eastport Feeds, number 70. No stranger to this racetrack, and if you look at his success in Whelen Modified Tour competition, he's run 5 different races, been inside the top 10 for all but one of them. We know the last time we were here, it was a local racer, Kyle Soper, who won when the Touring Series came to town, and Kyle, well, he could certainly put Dylan into the category of another driver who can compete for the victory here tonight as the race goes on. So lap number 1, 14th to 12.111. Lap 2, 11th, 11.883. So we picked up quite a bit there on lap number 2. Dylan Slepian will be 11th after his qualifying effort.
I was impressed with this driver here today in practice in the Dell Electric, Lemire Electrical, number 64. It's Austin Beers. Looked good here today in practice. Only his 3rd time at the facility. See what he can lay down for a lap time here. Lap number 1 for Austin Beers, 15th quick, 12.142. 12.142, lap number 1 for Austin Beers. Lap number 2, 13th quick, 11.929, 11.929 for Austin Beers.
Here comes JB Fortin in car number 34 out of Holtzville, New York. Red Camel Racing, John's Fuel, John Tree Removal. His dad, multi-time track champion here at this racetrack. Defending winner, the Islip 300 is JB. And he is looking for luck. Started the season, had good runs, but have gotten bitten by the bad luck bug over the second half of the season. And no better way to get luck back on your side than coming to a racetrack that you've spent a lot of time at, have a lot of laps at, and a lot of success at. How about lap number 2 for JB? Goes up to 4th. Very impressive jump, 11.787, was well outside the top 10 on his opening circuit, picked it up a ton, and he slides inside the top 5.
Next car to hit the raceway. He's in the Blue Mountain Machine. Future Homes, number 16. That, of course, is Ronnie Silk. Silk looking for his first tour win here, lap number 1. 11th quick, 11.857. 22 starts for Ronnie Silk here on the modified tour, yet to find victory lane. He hopes so today, and he'll start by bringing this car to the 4th spot with an 11.743. 11.743, 4th quick for Ronnie Silk.
And that's a huge story that we're going to keep our eye on. Ronnie Silk and that team, number 2 in the championship standings, still looking for that first win with this team. First win, as you said, after 22 starts here at Riverhead. And he's got a good team behind him, as does Timmy Salamito in the number 66. From Islip, New York, Natural Designs, Highmark are the backers. Part-time runner of the Whelen Modified Tour, regular here around the pit area at the Riverhead Raceway. Everybody was going down to Timmy asking for driving advice, setup advice, because he has a lot of the answers. He's won here before in NASCAR Modified Tour competition. Can he do it in his family car? Fifth for the 66, 11.748 for Timmy Salamito.
Next car to hit the raceway. This is a brand new car for this race team. The Wayne and Joette Anderson owned. Eastport Feeds, number 15. He won the last time the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour was in town. Kyle Soper out of Manorville. Did some job the last time the Modifieds were here. Trying to duplicate that here tonight. Lap number 1 for Kyle Soper. 10th quick, 11.841. 11.841. Good first lap for Soper. Lap number 2. Take him to second. Outside of row number 1 with an 11.724. 11.724 for Kyle Soper.
3 cars remain, and they're all favorites to win, including Kyle Soper, who just completed his qualifying run. Patrick Emerling in the 07. Last night, he was racing at the Bristol Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in a car that he partially owns, along with Joey Gase. Flew up here today to be able to run here at Riverhead. He's won here before. He's been in the top 3 over the past handful of starts that he's had at this racetrack, and is a threat for the race because his car good on long runs. And that's what it's going to take here tonight in the Eddie Partridge 256. Patrick Emerling goes to the top, 11.678, and Patrick Emerling out of Orchard Park, New York, now on the pole position.
Next car to hit the raceway. He's in the Baldwin Automotive. Tommy Baldwin Racing, number 7 NY. It's Doug Kobe. Kobe has won here this year in this car. Looked good today in practice. Lap number 1 for Doug Kobe. 15th quick, 11.866. 11.866. Lap number 1 for Doug Kobe. Lap number 2. Third quick, good pickup for Kobe in 11.721. 11.721 for Doug Kobe.
That'll bring out our final car to take time. 8-time Riverhead Raceway winner at his home track, Justin Bonsador in the 51 out of Holtzville. Phoenix Communications Incorporated on the side of this modified. In the hunt for the championship, running third, but he's got momentum on his side. Green flag is out, comes to the white flag here on lap number 1. And he is 10th quick, and that is a fast first lap, 11.796. Can he knock Patrick Emerling off the Mayhew Tools Pole Award here tonight? Across the line, and Justin Bonsignore does it. He's your number 1 qualifier, 11.649. And by 0.03 of a second, Justin Bonsignore has won the Mayhew Tools Dominator Pole Award for tonight's Eddie Partridge 256. Patrick Emerling will start second. Eric Goodale, Doug Kobe, and Kyle Soper will start inside the top 5. We'll run down the rest of the lineup for you. John McKenzie will start 6th, 7th for Kyle Bonsignore, 8th for Ronnie Silk, Timmy Salamito, and J.B. Fortin round out the top 10. 11th will be Craig Lutz. John Beatty Jr. will start 12th, 13th, Tommy Catalano, 14th, Matthew Brody. Donnie Leah will start 15th. Roger Turbish will start 16th. Chris Turbish will start 17th, 18th for Dylan Slepian. Ken Hagee and Austin Beers will start 20th. Ed Brunhozel, 3rd, 21st. Dave Zapienza, Gary McDonald, Melissa Fightfield, and Walt Sutcliffe Jr. round out the top 25 in your starting lineup for tonight. Couple of takeaways from that one, Steve. Justin Bonsignore certainly did what he had to do. Wins practice, wins qualifying, sends a message to the rest of the field.
A lot of their problems this year that they've had have been mechanical, which they haven't had in the past. The question has never been about the team's ability or the way they run wherever they go. This place has been so good to Justin Bonsignore over the years and his car owner, Ken Massa, that he is here to win this race. And that's what he's going to do the rest of the way. All he wants to do is win. And I don't know if you remember, probably 8 or 9 races ago in an interview, I think it might have been Jennerstown. Mm-hmm. And he said, all I can do now is win every race. I'm not chasing points. I'm just coming to win every show. And they have done a great job getting themselves back into this points race. And tonight, he had a flawless lap just now.
But it hasn't been a flawless day. They did have mechanical problems earlier. They had to change a clutch after practice before he went out and qualified. That team's got it together. They still put down a good lap. But let's talk about Kyle Soper. 5th on that qualifying run. He only practiced, half as much as everybody else. He said, my car is good. He qualified 5th. I think that could be somebody to watch again here tonight.
And he's only run that car here in practice a couple of times. That's it. That car's never run a race. And, Kyle's one of those guys that when he feels it, he doesn't want to change it. He doesn't want to touch it. Him and his father pay a ton of attention to the setup on these race cars. And again, here's the advantage for Kyle Soper. In the past, he's always had to start in the back and work his way to the front. By the time he gets to the front, he's out of car. Now, starting up front, he can pace himself, and just like he did in the last race, he let guys pass him in the last race. He went back by him 20 laps later. So I think it's going to be a great night. I think we're going to see. I'm very interested to see what they do strategy-wise. I have no idea. Do you?
Lots of intrigue. We've got pit stops. Do we stay out? What's that plan going to be? What's it look like if you start first? How does your strategy start if you start 20th tonight? There's a lot of intrigue tonight. The Eddie Partridge 256. There's the trophy coming across the start-finish line now. We get a good look at what they're racing for here tonight at Riverhead. Keep in mind the driver autograph session's coming up. Once these drivers get their cars back parked in the pit area and tuned up, ready to go for racing tonight, Riverhead Raceway will certainly have a lot of intrigue over 256 laps.
Can't wait to see it.